have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another edition of The Parents Lounge. Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowan, and Kate Mulligan are here for your Tuesday parental mental health evening, where we'll tell you horrible stories about our parenting life. And then you'll go, oh, I feel much better about my life. Jason, does that sound about right?
That sounds about right, yeah. And I have a lot of things to talk about. I do have questions about Mulligan. Did you skin a Muppet?
Yes, honey. Do you know that I was so optimistic about two things today. One was working out. So I woke up and I had to get my son to an 8:30 doctor's appointment. I'm like, I'm going to put my workout clothes on because I'll definitely work out after we get back from the doctor's appointment. So I'm still in workout clothes. And the other thing I was optimistic about was ability to take a shower, which I didn't achieve either thing today. And so I just finished making homemade meatballs, asparagus that was broiled, mozzarella cheese, and cracked pepper on top of it. And let me tell you, what I realized is what I didn't want to do was come on with my giant forehead. You guys know I have a giant forehead. When do you think my forehead should stop? So I put this thing on. Look at this. It's still going. It's still going, you guys. Mm-hmm. I'm basically a bald person. Mm-hmm. So I put this on and I thought, then at least you guys don't have to look at my dirty hair or my giant forehead.
Yeah, no, that's
not a widow's peak. What is that?
It's malpatterned baldness in my masculine body.
Well, I mean, it's had big dick energy, so I get it.
I mean, look at this, and the edges are not laid, honey. Let's put it that way.
It's got a little Jack Nicholson going on. It's pretty cool.
Listen, It's this. So this, I feel like now you don't have to look at my big Helen Hunt. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Now you have to look at this instead.
I don't know if I approve of that Helen Hunt comment.
She's got a giant forehead.
He did mad about you, right?
No.
Really?
No, I did not do mad about you at all.
What did you do with her?
I deliberately, it's so funny. I told my wife, she's like, I'm going to go around the block something with the kids. And I said, hey, don't come through the garage because I'm in the office. And then I hear the garage. She still doesn't even know I'm doing this show. It's been like 2 years. And she doesn't hear a word I say.
Yeah.
Listen, we got a fantastic show tonight. We have a friend of mine. She is awesome. And she's a big smartass. I feel like I'm a little afraid of what she's going to say to me today.
Oh,
I love her. And I'm very excited about what is coming from Mr. Kaler because Kate and I think you're really going to like her as well.
Well, here's what happened. So listen, just before we set it up with her big intro, we were talking to her today or something about doing the show. And we said something like our kids were driving us crazy. And she was like, oh, kids are the easy part. It's the rest of life that's difficult. Ooh. And I was like, what are you talking about? Life is easy. It's the children part that is super hard. So I'm super interested.
You guys are going to duke it out. Okay.
I hope to learn something from her tonight so that we can go on and enjoy my children.
I want to say why I think I love her, and then let's bring her on. I think I love her because her name is Orly, which means that she's Israeli, which means in my mind, it means she's Israeli, which means she is going to say literally anything because they're just... I've told you guys this relating to the forehead. My Israeli friend that I used to work with, I walked in one day, I got bangs. She said, bangs, of course. Now your forehead is not so big. Anyway, I love her already if she's in fact Israeli. Orly, are ya?
Well, I'm not even sure about that last comment. Okay, fine. It's like me saying, I love Jason because Jason is a name from, the lower southeast area of the
It's
country.
from Greece. It's Greek.
I'm very excited. It's
tell me she's not Israeli, then I'm not going to love her. It's fine.
All right, listen, stop it. Our guest tonight, she is a designer, a host. She is the DIY designer. She has a huge YouTube show. You've seen her on the Today Show, Access Hollywood, Home and Family, E! News, and my favorite, The Fashion Police. Please welcome Orly Shani.
Hi.
Hi.
Kate, you're half right. I'm half Israeli.
Okay, so do you speak any Hebrew?
Not anymore.
Okay, so I can't say manishma. No?
I mean, you can, and
Okay.
and I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I won't say anything back. I'll just be like, yeah. Yeah. That's it. We spoke Hebrew. We spoke Hebrew in the house when we were kids.
Yes.
And then when we went to like kindergarten, my dad said that we were embarrassed that we said we talked funny. And that was at a time when if you move from another country, the goal was like the American dream.
Yes.
We become American now. We are not what we, And so he was like, okay. So we stopped. And now as the world has changed, he's like, damn it, we should have held on. I could have been so exotic speaking Hebrew.
Yeah.
Instead I'm just this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through a similar thing coming out of Boston. A lot of people, I had that thing where I started to talk like that all the time, and then I got rid of it, and now I've lost my home a little bit.
You lost all of your sexiness, it turns out.
Oh, Claudia says hi, Orly. If you guys have questions, the beauty. Oh my God, Orly, love the rock knot.
I love you, Orby. Thank you.
The great part about this show and having it go out to everybody is that we are live. So if you have questions or very specific comments that you want to share and you want to have Orly comment on, please put it in the comments. We are monitoring them, and we will post some of our favorites and do questions that way. Orly and I know each other. Our kids go to school together.
Yeah. And so we connect over all sorts of annoying details.
Are your kids in the same grades, or you're just kind of passing ships in the parenting night?
We're passing ships in the parenting. But here's what's funny. It was like I had kids late in life, and so all my friends went off to the valley and had kids and got married. And I wasn't friends with those guys anymore, because once you have kids, it's the same way when you're a kid. Your friend is the kid that sits next to you in class, and then you grow up and you realize you have nothing in common, and you don't stay friends forever. And then you have kids, and your friends become the parents of your kids' friends, because you don't have a choice. That's where you live. And so luckily we have a pretty good parental community. But I'm always amazed. I hear other people with nightmare stories from their schools of people fist fights and insanity. But our school has actually a really great parenting community.
Yeah. No, it's super cute. It's sweet. The parents all feel really chill. It's like a very easy peasy. It's like I'm my kind of people. I feel like every time I have a moment where I get in like a deep dive conversation with someone, I'm like, I like her. It's like, it's easy. It's like,
do your kids participate in the elaborate musical that Jamie's kids get involved in every year?
No, not yet. Although I think it's because age. My son won't do it, but it also only starts at a certain age. And my daughter is graduating first grade right now, so she's not at the age yet. Because what grade are yours in, Jamie?
Mine are second and fourth, or they will be, because tomorrow's the last official day of school, and then they'll be third and fifth. But
yeah. Okay.
My daughter did 2 plays so far. She's done 2 plays, and I watched each one twice, and she had no lines in either one. Not one line. And I sat through the full Broadway version of Little Mermaid twice.
Okay.
Fun for you.
Fun. Actually, it was honestly, I was pretty impressed as an actor. I was like, it's pretty good. And these kids are putting on a complete 2.5-hour Broadway show. But my daughter, we've talked about it many times on the show, but she was a puffer fish and a flamingo or something. And she just kind of skated through and was like, look at me.
I will say LA, I feel like this is something I've learned. Doesn't matter if you're in the Valley, doesn't matter. LA are you 2 the most famous parents at your school?
No.
Would you say?
I mean, no? But I'm not. I don't want to list other people, but there's a few people who have Pretty good.
But like, are we talking any A-listers? Like Mark Wahlberg's kid goes to their kids go to the Catholic school that I used to go to, like the church I used to go to. That was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You guys have anybody
We don't have a Mark Wahlberg. No.
Okay.
No.
Now I want Wahlburgers. Thanks, Kate.
It is very funny to me as somebody who comes from the Chicago suburbs to see these productions, whether it be the talent show, like the guy that lit our talent show lit the Super Bowl. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just like, what is actually happening?
We went to a Halloween party in the dude's house. He was like, I think he did like the stages for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So his home was, you walk to this guy's house, you're like, holy, what is happening here? And they are seriously set designers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I just wonder too, like if you got like a 2.5 hour play being directed
Orly
by
grew
a
up
parent.
here. She was a kid. You did some acting as a kid, I believe, right?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I suck at acting. Like what I'm really good at is you can put a camera 3 inches from my face and nothing changes. My personality doesn't change. My filter doesn't change. I am exactly me when a camera is on me. And to me, that when I was 14, 15, and I like entertaining and I like talking and I like all that stuff. When I was that age, what that meant was acting. I didn't know what else that could possibly mean. So I auditioned and I did things, but like, if it was like, some, tortured soul with like a Bostonian accent, I mean, I was screwed. I got nothing. I got none of that. But if it was like some happy-go-lucky girl who's just like bopping in and great, I'm going to nail it.
Every time I'm on a show, my friends will call and they go, you're not even acting. You're just being yourself. And I go, you be yourself when they yell action and saying someone, yes, of course we're being ourselves. That's what, that's the job.
Right.
But I'm the same. I would argue most people, there's a handful of like actors and then everyone else just plays themselves and they're in,
but different degrees.
But it is not, it is definitely not a natural thing and I've realized this, a natural thing or a comfort zone for many. My husband, this is 100% not his wheelhouse. And he works in law enforcement and they did a safety, he's going to kill me. The city asked him to do his bike safety commercial. And so they're in a bike shop and it's about the safety of e-bikes. And he sends it to me. He's like, I look like a robot. I sound like a robot. And he sent me the finished thing. And he like walks in and he's like, are you buying this bike? Are you aware of that? And I was like, but it's like the first line only. And it is not him. It is not him how he speaks. And then you can see he relaxed, but like, it is not his comfort zone. That is not what he's meant to do. You put a camera 2 inches and he's like, yeah, he's RoboCop. Exactly. Like,
I was going with the T-1000 where he's like, hey, does John Connor live here? Is John Connor here?
Poor guy. He's like, why are they making me do this? I suck.
Oh my God. So Claudia is talking about Tom Hanks. Not to change the subject. Did anyone see A Man Called Otto?
No, I did not.
No, but it's on Amazon or
it's
what's
on Netflix, I think.
Netflix?
He's like a suicidal guy who ends up finding joy in life. I cried worse. I haven't cried that hard in a long time.
Since Philadelphia?
Since Philadelphia. Oh my God, I bawled during Philadelphia.
Don't show videos at the funeral of him as a kid. Don't show videos of him as a kid.
Dude, all I have to do is hear the song Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen and I well up. I lose it.
Oh.
Not to change the subject. But it's good. A Man Called Otto. It was kind of an old school movie where you're like, oh, this is an actual movie like from 20 years ago where people made films about stories and told. And it was over 3 minutes long. It was very odd to watch online.
Were you okay? Did your brain start shorting out after?
Let me ask you this. Has your attention span changed? Because I used to be able to I remember watching The English Patient. Like I went to the movies and sat through The English Patient and really enjoyed it. And now I'll start like some series and I'll give it like 30 seconds and be like, not feeling it. Click out.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I usually need is I need the warning in advance of someone being like, it takes a minute to get into it. Give it a minute. And then I'm like, I'm in for all the slow crap. Like I will muscle through it and trudge if I know it's worth it. Like that's how I felt. Did you guys watch Severance?
Yes.
So good. I'm only a couple episodes in, but it's really good.
Okay. So the beginning, is slow as a mofo, and it is hard to get into it. And they're white hallwaying it up for hours on end, it feels like, and it's brutal. But once it starts to take shape, you're just so glad you committed, because that final, and I won't give anything away, but the final episode, I paced around my house. I could not sit down. I paced around my house like a psychopath the entire time, and was like, it was so freaking good. And and to anyone who doesn't watch it, you sound like a crazy person, because they're like, really? That? It was so slow.
But also, you're a crazy person if you don't watch it, to be clear.
I feel like we feel that way. God, here's the other thing about years ago, not to be the old boomer who's like, remember back when, but there was like, on, Must See Thursday. We all used to go like the next day.
Yeah.
Everyone had seen Seinfeld, and we all had something to talk about. Now, everybody I talked to, I go, hey, what show you watching? They'll say some show. I go, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
Or like, there's no unison anymore in like the community mindset.
I will say that is
too much.
Yeah. And I would say that is largely true, except for the House of the Dragon, when the New York, that you remember seeing like that New York building. Did you guys see this on the internet? Basically, it was everybody like the windows were lighting up at the same time because they were all watching the House of the Dragon. But that's like, I do feel like it takes like an HBO anticipated show to get people to watch it. Like Succession finale, like we always watched it on, like we watched Succession as soon as it came out.
Instead of House of Dragon, I thought you were about to say House of Hammer. Have you watched the Army Hammer doc?
Oh
House
my
of Hammer?
God, I read an article about this insanity.
It's pretty great. He likes
cannibalism
to eat,
and all that?
He likes to eat people, I guess. I don't know.
It's
actually
like recreationally or for nutrition. Explain to me.
He's a dark.
It's like a fetish, I think.
It's a fetish,
he has a serious,
but he doesn't actually do it, right, Orly? He just says
I don't know. I think I don't know. The texts that were like leaked and shared, I think were him like thinking it was like his version of dirty talk.
Yes.
Was like cannibal talk.
Like Jason,
cannibal talk.
You have to watch it. It's actually super amazing. And he's into like bondage and serious, like he sends pictures of ropes and I'm going to tie you up and I'm going to tie all these.
You know too much. You shut it.
Things.
It's not me. It's my wife, and I'm
just saying.
Yeah. He likes bondage, but apparently he doesn't care.
You're number one, guys. I think
there were no safety words involved, and unfortunately, then the woman was like, "Hey, I'm not sure I was totally into that, dude." And he's like, "Man, there's a text where he's like, you took it like a champ." You're like, "That's a bad text, brother."
Oh my God, this sounds like the text my wife sends me. Am I in danger?
Serious trouble.
Yeah.
Like a champ.
Honestly, can you imagine what if the safe word was Dahmer? I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Hey, on brand. It's on brand.
Donner pass. Hey, I want to talk really quick about because we have Orly here, and here's what I really love, and it's funny because I watched your videos, and you're making. It's really cool what you do because you take clothes and you make them super fashionable, but it's like it's a cheaper do-it-yourself kind of jam together. And we talked about how elaborate you have to go to do all that stuff, but it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Thanks. It's really fun. I mean, this is what I'll say. I was doing this to my own clothes since I was in middle school. Like it was just what I did all the time because I always loved fashion. I always loved clothing. I always really liked standing out and being my own person and not looking like anybody else. It was actually more about that than it was about this is what the trends are and I want that. It was like, no, I want to have my own very specific version that no one else can have. Mm-hmm. And so that was the reason I would go to thrift stores and I would buy things that were like right around the corner from what was happening. Like it was like so close, but not so much. And I would take it home and I would chop it and rip it and shred it and cut it and sew it and do all these different things to it. And, it ended up becoming a business and becoming a whole thing, a clothing line. I was like, what's happening?
He's having a conversation around you. Sorry.
No. It's one of my buddies who's a fan. He comes on and I was saying goodbye. I was trying to do it cool, but I guess I'm not that cool.
Hi, Brent. Yeah. You nailed it with the cool.
Do you see it? Do you see it now? She's
That's
Sabrina.
The Israeli half, baby.
It's just got Sabrina. God damn it.
But anyway, it ended up turning into this whole thing. It ended up turning into a career and a YouTube channel and TV segments. And the thing that I like the most about it is that, to me, what it really feels like is it is empowering everybody to create pieces that make them feel great, because we all have different bodies. We all have different insecurities. We all have different styles and tastes. None of us fit perfectly into one little box. And so if you understand who you are and your style and the things that you love, and you just have a few tools in your toolkit, you can really start to make things that make you feel great. And suddenly your confidence just grows a little. Like it's this very contagious, empowering, fun thing where you're not like a victim to it. Like, oh, the jeans never fit me. It's like, well, we can tweak them. You know what's so funny, Claudia, with this question? For me, anything that is heavily tailored is really hard. I'm self-taught. I never went to fashion school. Entirely self-taught. My mom had sewing machines in her office, and I would just go upstairs and start sewing. It's made me a great DIYer because I think outside the box, because I don't even know what the box is supposed to look like. Like, I have no freaking clue. So my brain works in a completely different way, but I am limited when it comes to like pattern making and making things tailored and seams and darts. Like, that's where I really struggle. So anytime I tackle something that is super tailored, I'm always like, please no.
Now, I knew this one girl back in the 80s who actually did the exact same thing. She would always make her own dresses and go to school, and she had a mad crush on the really popular good-looking guy. But there was this other good-looking guy who had blondish hair, and he was kind of a jerk. And then, but there was this other guy his name was Ducky, and he really liked her. And
I knew. I was like,
did you see it?
This is not, I did not see it, but I knew that you were not speaking like yourself.
I feel like you are exactly
a monologue.
I feel like you're Molly Ringwald in Pretty in Pink, because that's what she did.
Oh.
And she remember, she shows up at the school in her own dress, and all the cool girls are like, "What are you wearing?" Did you ever go through that where you like my daughter?
Yeah.
It's so funny because this was like a year or two ago, before I even knew what you did. And she was like, she had old Doc Martens. I was like, we should spray paint those or something. Right. And I was like, and she was like, yeah. So we kind of did crazy stuff with her clothes. And then I saw what you were doing. I was like, yes, I feel like the same thing. But I do, like, as kids, there's this thing about standing out, but also fitting in. And so it's really hard when you're a kid to be like the cool kid. I wish we all could go back and do it again to be that kid. But I mean,
what are you talking about?
I think that it's I think that there's like a black hole for style that exists with, honestly, the age group that thinks they have the best style, which is like really annoying once you're an adult. But like adolescent, like age like 12 to like 17-ish is, they don't have any personal style whatsoever. And it's not a knock on like this generation. That is just every age group that will pass through that time for all of eternity will have no personal style. And the reason is just where they are, like, developmentally. Their goal, right? Like, this is not relevant to our lives now because it's not 5,000 years ago, but like developmentally, we are supposed to be leaving our families, finding our new people, having babies at like 13. Like, that's what our bodies, like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so when you think about it, like,
it is, yeah.
And so you think about it like biologically, you are looking for your new community, your new tribe, and you need to act the fucking part to fit in. You need to look right, talk right, think right, smell right, walk right. Everything has to fit so that you kind of are like, you fit in with the group. And that's like a biological sort of desire, because you would like go off with that. That would be your new family, you know? And so standing out is actually very scary at that age. It's dangerous almost.
It's catch you in the rye.
Yeah. And that's why, like, you look at middle school kids, and even like we talk about like the festival, you look at those middle school kids, they're dressed, they're mimicking style perfectly. Each little group of like 8 of them, it's like the zip up hoodie off the left shoulder, not the right. The winged eyeliner going this way, the hair parted in the middle to the middle of the back, not any shorter than that. The white Converse sneakers with like, it's almost like a uniform.
Yep.
And then you come out of it at a certain point, and then you start to individuate and you find your own personal style and all of that stuff. But in the beginning, you're like in a uniform.
Yeah.
And it's biological.
I want to say two things. One, I thought he'd never leave. Thank God. I mean,
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. I'm not actually. I'm not concerned.
Still connected, but
I'm not concerned because I want to talk to Orly, and he was
really. Yeah. So we don't know Orly, so we'll get to talk now.
Well, Orly, I'm actually so curious because I had pieces when I was in junior high that were like my absolute favorite. So what you're saying is it's exactly what I experienced, which was. Mm-hmm. I had a sense of style in middle school, but it was the style that was being dictated. Like suddenly when in the 96 to 98 range, 94 to 96 range, it was really hip to wear 70s clothes. So I had like a bunch of pieces I got from my mom's closet, from my friend's dad's closet, all of these pieces. Do you have, so there was a pair of jeans, not that I touched them, but that was like this pair of bell-bottom jeans that I still think was like the best piece of clothing I ever had. What was you have it? Oh, I love that she has it.
Hold, please.
Yes, I will hold, please. Jamie,
so
we missed you.
So these are from 7th grade and I still wear them. Look at how these are Doc Martens. Look at them. I mean, I can smush them into a ball. That's how worn in they are. 18-hole Doc Martens that I used to wear with like mini dresses and slip dresses, very 90s. Yes. And I will never get rid of them. They came with me to New York. They came with me back. I wore them through my pregnancy. I wear them all the time now. I fold them and wrap them. And like, I mean, and anyone who's ever had a pair of Doc Martens, you know, they shred your feet for like 6 years. And then they're butter. This is like beyond butter. This is like whipped cream.
This is, I can't believe it's not butter.
I know.
That's amazing.
Those are my favorite. Yeah, those are my favorite. And that is, so there's this thing that I do called style language. It's this idea that basically we each have a unique style language, almost like a love language. And it's the unique way that we feel most confident and in our physical appearance. So when we're this like unique blend of elements, it's when we really feel like us. We feel like our personality is shining. And it's 4 words, 3 or 4 words. Mine is sexy, edgy, effortless, original. These are the 4 ways that I need to balance. If I'm like too sexy and I'm not effortless, I feel like I'm trying too hard and it makes me feel silly. If I'm too edgy and I'm not relaxed about it and kind of sexy, I feel like I'm in a goth costume. So it's this balance. And these boots, every time, like it doesn't, like a floral dress and these, it gives me what I need. Jeans and these, it's like, yeah. So we each have like a unique way that we need to feel in order to feel our best. And we should all have certain items that are like in like a hack, an instantaneous way of feeling that. Because it's a shortcut. It's an easy way to get ready in the morning in 2 minutes because you're like, oh, I know what these make me feel something special. And I know that. And so put that on with jeans and a
what
t-shirt.
Are Jason's? Jason, what are your 4 words?
Are there words to choose from, Orly?
90s gym teacher.
Yeah. Do you have like a set of words that we
I need more context.
Yeah,
I need some coaching here.
So it's a whole thing now. It's like a whole online course and a whole beautiful thing. But but basically what you do is it's a process that you go through, and there's a combination of energetic, I call them energetic crushes, and like style crushes. So the thing is that if you see someone out in the world, and like Jamie, for example, you and I feel like when we met, we had like a good kind of
slapped our bodies against each other.
Yeah, we slapped our bodies. No, we had like a good, like our energies. We had like a similar sense of humor. Yeah. We had a similar kind of like sarcastic, but there was still caring about, we were talking about things with school, but we were laughing about it and being a little crunchy about it. So like when I saw your energy to me, the elements of your personality that I gravitated towards, the reason I did is because they're my favorite parts of myself. If those are parts in you if that's like a part of my personality that I don't like, it would annoy me in you. I'd be like, oh God, he's always on. But I felt like a kindred spirit. So I liked that. Yeah. So one of the things that you do is you look to people whose energies and vibes you gravitate towards, because that's actually telling you some of your favorite stuff about yourself, or you wouldn't like it in them. And so you start to think about, what are the things that I like? Because that's how you want to be received. That's how you want to be known. And your style is just like a visual personality. It's just an introduction to the world about who you are on the inside. So it should connect. So first you got to know how you want to feel, how you want people to receive you. So it's internal first. And then we figure out the aesthetics that you associate with that. And then we come up with a style language, and it becomes like a cheat code. It becomes like you're getting ready. And if you feel to this, you realize like, oh shit, it's because I didn't do my hair and makeup. And one of my words is feminine. And so I need to give myself 5 minutes to do hair and makeup, and I'll feel better even if I'm in sweats.
Right.
Like it becomes like a cheat code. It's really cool.
Have you written, this is a book. Is this a book? Yes. That's
hopefully,
amazing.
hopefully.
Oh, hi.
I also all of a sudden feel very insecure about myself.
I wish I could go back in time because I am so.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm trying to say except that I dress in the dark.
Oh.
Do you know what's funny? As
we'll
you
get to the bottom of it.
When you get older, it's so funny because I was actually in really great shape in my 20s, and I was like, I'm a ginger, so I have pasty white skin and red fur, and so I felt really self-conscious on the beach or whatever. And you get to a certain age where all of a sudden you're like that dude in a banana hammock with a metal detector and an AM/FM headphone set on and you just don't care. And there's this weird, like, I try to talk to my kids about being comfortable. And it's so hard. I don't think we can ever do it, but we sit there and we talk to them and go like, if I could go back in time and I could just not be a nervous wreck and care, if I could stop caring what other people think, but it's so hard. But when you get older, you literally stop caring. I go to school sometimes in like slippers. I go to slippers and I don't care.
You're also still a very fit man. So that's deeply annoying to me, Jamie.
Sometimes.
I'm not even happy for you.
I'm not even happy about
it. Sometimes.
I got to tell you, Orly, I want you to unpack this for me. This is nobody's going to like this comment. People are going to disagree with me, and it's fine.
I already hate it.
I am obsessed. I can prove it.
What comes after?
With Harry Styles.
Okay.
I think Harry Styles. It's an activity book.
I love Harry Styles.
What kind of activity book?
I mean, I've got all them. Dickie bought them for me. He's very supportive of my hall pass. Okay. So this is what I will tell you. Part of what I find to be so intoxicating about him, and you know where I'm going with this, is the way that he dresses. Yeah. Because he feels. And it reminds me, and this is where people get like, how dare you? People are like, no, he reminds me of Mick Jagger. I'm like, actually think out of the country box. He reminds me of Prince. The way that Prince had feminine fashion. Like there was like an androgyny about it. That is just, but there's no question. If Harry Styles didn't dress the way he did, I probably wouldn't be. So just, could you unpack that for me? What does this mean?
Well, I feel like actually what you would want to do, and because like what I would gravitate towards, what I would see in Harry might be different from what you see, and might be different from a Jamie. Like we all would see something different. It's about you. Yeah. So what I would do, like if we were like working together or doing this, it would be like, give me words that describe Harry to you, that energy, because it might be that it's unapologetic. Yes. It might be that it's playful. It might be that it's free, or that it's wild, or that And so it's the energy actually, because imagine Harry wearing those clothes, and imagine him being a deeply like, I don't even know what the right word is, like traditional 20-year ago masculine energy. Yes. Imagine like not this sort of new open-mindedness. Imagine that. Imagine him wearing those clothes, and imagine his body language being forced to wear these clothes. Yes. It would not be sexy because he would be embarrassed. He would feel shameful. It is his energy in the clothes that's actually what you're responding to. The clothes are cool, but it's how free, and he's owning his sexuality. He's sexy in it. He's dancing. He's happy. He's moving. Like, that's actually what we're gravitating towards. Not that they're like rainbow pants. Like, who cares?
I talk to my kids about this. I talk to my kids about this all the time because, like the same way I used to, they would feel self-conscious about being in something. And I go, you know what makes clothes look great? Confidence. When you're comfortable, like she wore something, we're having problems. She wouldn't wear her glasses and she can't see. And some kid made some comment about her glasses. And so I was like, you have to just take it and go, I don't care. I gave her some comments. I go, oh, that reminds me. I don't care what you think. Like, I gave her a handful of like comebacks to go like, you to these other kids. Yeah. and to go, I don't care what you think. You're wrong. You know, but it's hard at that age to do that. And so
it's hard. It's hard with girls.
The stuff I really like about you, though, is that it's so expensive. You see somebody who lives in an apartment and they're buying like, ridiculous expensive clothes, and they don't have any money and they're just like they're using the clothes to try to fit in, as opposed to fitting in with their own personality. Like personality goes so far. And you can do, when you're Mick Jagger, you can wear a garbage bag and people go, holy shit, that garbage bag looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for people that love that like designer thing, that luxe thing, it's really like, again, I don't think there's any rules. I don't think there's any obstacles. I don't think there's anything that gets in the way of you feeling exactly the way that you want to feel. No budget. No, I personally don't think that. And so I think that like, if you can understand what it is that you actually like, again, you got to always go one level deeper. We think it's about this, and this, and it's not. You got to chunk down one level deeper and say, why do I like designer brands? Why do I like to spend money on something that I could probably find for cheaper? What does that make me feel? And once you understand what that's about, you can figure out how to replicate that within your budget, because you understand what it's actually about. Right. Because it's not about the YSL blazer made in Italy. There's something else that you're getting from it, and that we can recreate. And so it's just more empowered, I think, but you have to understand, you got to be really honest with yourself about those things. Like I talk about this in the course, where like one of the words in my language is sexy. And I have to be really honest to understand that what that appears like changes. I literally want every man and every woman to be attracted to me. I'm married, been married forever. I'm not trying to do anything, but that energy, it's fun. It's charismatic. It makes me feel magnetic and playful and excited. So the way that I have to, when I'm with my girlfriends, what sexy presents like is different, because I'm not trying to like be up in their face. It's a different kind of a thing. Yeah. When I'm around guys, it's a different kind of a thing. So I understand why sexy feels good to me. So then I know how to dress for it depending on where I'm going. So you just you got to be honest with yourself and not get embarrassed when your answers are something that you wish they weren't,
Every audition I would go to, the guys would check out the girls that would walk in for the audition, but the girls would check out the girls that walked in like the girls never checked out the dudes. They were actually looking at the other women more than
I would also like to say, on behalf of all of us, it's working. We all think you're the hottest person we've ever seen.
Oh, thank you, Kate.
I was
different.
I meant Orly.
Different. I meant Orly.
I got confused.
I was gonna say I was about to flash you, and then I'm like, oh, was that for June?
Hey, can we jump topics? Because I want to go through a few pictures that we have. Hey, can we bring up Claire's list here? So Claire had her very first sleepover. I found this sheet of paper. For those of you who are listening to this on iTunes, we there's a sheet of paper up, and my daughter made a checklist. She had a sleepover, her first sleepover with a friend of hers. She's 8, and we let her friend sleep over. And this was her checklist. It says, number 1, wait till everyone is asleep.
Fair. It's a good start.
Honestly, it's all that's base 1 of sleepovers.
Very scary. What comes next?
Sneak outside to see if everyone is asleep. That one scared me.
That is from the outside.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's very thorough.
Very thorough. Yeah.
Oh, here's what we'll talk about, like what you're, like you learn things about your kids. Number 3 on this checklist, she writes, play games in bed.
2.5 was go back inside. Okay, she missed 2.5. That's fine.
Yeah, right, I think that's inferred. We
understand. It was inferred. Yeah.
Number 4, she has number 4. I love. She goes, have the best times of our lives.
Oh, I love that.
That's magic. That's magic right there.
Number 5, maybe stay up till midnight. Maybe. Well, let's play it by ear. Let's see how we feel.
She doesn't seem entirely committed to that, but
this is not this. Listen, this plan is not in stone. There are some variables involved. And then number 6, have crepes in the morning, and she spelled crepes basically like craps. We'll have craps in the morning. All right, we can put that down. So that I found that, and I talked to her after I talked to you guys, and I told you I had this list. I said, "Hey, Claire, I found this under your bed." She goes, "Oh, yeah, we fell asleep." They fell asleep at like 8:30. They didn't get to number. I don't think they got to number 2. They didn't. They never checked.
I don't even think she got to number 1. She was asleep. There was no checking on anyone.
She was. Wait till everyone was asleep, included her.
Yeah. Oh.
Listen, just so you know, my wife will never go to sleep before the kids are asleep, ever. She would stay up for a week if the kids were up for a week. She's never, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, have fun. I'm going to sleep, man. The alarm is set. They can't leave the house. It is what it is. But I asked her, I said, here's the only most important thing, Claire, is did you have the best time of your lives? And she goes, not really.
That's such a Jamie Kaler answer. That is such a Jamie.
I hope you save that forever. That's that stuff that and that's the thing that's so hard about parenting is that you are always in the good old days at every single phase. At every single phase, it's the good old days. And you cannot possibly appreciate it because you already miss the smushiness that was and the magicalness that it is. Connor's going to be 10 next week. And I keep yelling at him, not really, but I'm just get out of here. I hate you. Don't be 10. Stop it. Because I'm I'm like a creep and I'm pulling up old photos. I'm like, look how chubby your cheeks were.
That's so weird. That's what Kate, Kate, what she's feeling. Are you the same? This Kate, my wife.
No,
Kate.
I just want to be very clear. Not you. For anybody who doesn't know, his wife is also named Kate.
Yeah, but
about me.
Any Kate in the storm will work. It's so my wife.
I'm pulling up while you're talking.
Photos out of nowhere, if I'm on the road or something, or she's on the road, weird times of night, I'll just get some photo of Hannah at 1, and my wife will just send it. She's like,
exactly.
Oh.
And but if you imagine it now, imagine them graduating high school. This version of them now is going to elicit the same response, but when you're in it, you cannot possibly do that. You can't. It's you're just one foot in front of the other, getting through life, busy, working, getting to school in time. What time is aftercare? What's the last day of school? It's just the schedule. And there's moments, of course, and it's fun and it's sweet, but there's something about the passage of time that encapsulates each thing and it becomes more magical. And you're like, why didn't I soak it in?
You had what were you saying about your son before the show? You had, God, what did he do? You had some crazy story. What was
with Connor?
What was she talking about right before the show?
Who?
I can't remember now. I know that's the problem with.
Orly had God, you were talking some story about your son, and I was like, oh yes.
Well, I showed up a minute before the show started, so it definitely. I'm not going to be able to help.
It'll come out when she finds it.
Shoot,
this aspect of parenting is very interesting to me because I also feel like each individual has different strengths in parenting, or different ages at which they hit their strengths. And I have to say, the newborn phase, I was with my cousin this weekend, who they've got a 4-month-old. That was not my era.
I don't miss that
not my era.
I don't miss that.
I will say I don't. And everybody was I remember people being it goes so fast, doesn't it? And I remember when my son turned 1, I'm that was I am surprised that he's turning 1 because I thought he would be turning 13 by now. This is crazy. He's only been alive a year.
We had twins. It literally seemed like those first few months were 40 years. It was
42
40 years.
That's right. Yes.
Well, also Orly, just we've talked about this a handful of times. Jason's wife had a stroke a few days after giving birth to twins. So he basically had to take care of her and the twins and the older son. She can't drive. So when he said they have twins, he really has quadruplets. It's about, what did they do this morning? Didn't they flood the house?
Dark Lord flooded the house this morning. Yes.
Flooded the house.
Not actually.
We walked in, there was 2 inches of water in the house because the kid flooded the house.
So we got them
How
these
old are they
monster trucks. They're 4 now.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have twin tornadoes in the house. They
stop it.
They got monster trucks that are color changing, which Jace showed them how to do.
Oh, don't tell me it's with water, Jason. Don't tell me they change color with water.
I smell a lawsuit at the toy company, by the way.
They change color with water.
This is Hot Wheels needs to account for their mistake here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tag them when I post it.
Yeah.
So I went to do laundry and I didn't realize that Dark Lord had come back. Well, he melds into shadows, so we don't know where he is all the time.
His name is Anthony.
Mm-hmm. And he is sure. he doesn't know that's his name.
Technically.
He got back into the thing, and all of a sudden I heard this weird like spilling if coming from the bathroom. I was like, what is that? And I came around
God.
and water is just gushing out of the sink. There's 2 inches of water on the thing. And he goes, hey, car. Because my 4-year-olds are also nonverbal. So they say about 35 things.
Oh gosh.
Ugh, it's a lot, Jason.
It's a lot. I feel so many things for
So
you.
painful.
My solution is just to drink more wine.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I'm doing a scotch and soda today, as I do pretty much every day.
Oh, sorry. No,
No.
you go, Orly. I'm sorry.
No,
Orly.
We each have. I think each of our kids too have their own special chunk of hell time.
Yes.
Like, like
Yes.
each one has their own. Like they were really crappy at that age. Connor went through that at probably. He was tough. He was tough when he was little. He was tough. He sort of snapped out of it at 5, but beyond that, he was really hard. And I remember we were actually texting about this, an inappropriate text about, oh, it's not okay to hit your kids anymore. Like, no, okay, we don't do that. But we were joking around about like, I know how to fix the problem. And I remember so vividly, you guys, this was one of the worst. This was one of my lowest parenting moments of all time. Connor was having an absolute epic meltdown. I don't even remember what it was. And he was probably maybe 3. And I picked him up, like, both arms, and he's got his like stomach facing me. One arm's got his butt. The other arm's got his shoulders. His head is flailing. His feet are flailing. And I'm walking him to his bedroom to put him in his room for a timeout. As we walk down the hallway, he grabs every picture off the wall and just starts pulling all of the glass pictures off the wall and breaks them. And like, this was like after a long, a tough couple of years with him, a tough couple of days with him, a tough couple of hours with him, a hellish 30 minutes with him. Like, and I was at my absolute edge. And my dad, who is a tough Israeli, kept telling me like, Orly, listen, you might need to just, he might just need a little, And I'm like, Abba, I'm not going to hit the kid. Well, we're not going to do that. He's like, I'm just saying, maybe it'll snap him out of it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So in the back of my mind, I've got this, like, my dad being like, maybe it'll snap him out of it. So I am pulling him down the hallway. I get him into his room. I throw him on his bed, and he like lurches out like a zombie, like in my face. And he's like, ah! And like screams at my face. And I smack him across the face.
I totally
And like,
understand.
it was this moment where I like did it and was like, oh God, he, no joke, arm back goes bam, across my face, slaps me back. I was like, ah! And I slapped him back. And then I was like, oh God. And I just like ran into my bathroom, hysterically started crying. I was like, what has happened? Like, what have I done? I was a mess. I went into his room and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry. We both were. I don't think he remembers it. It's goes down as my like lowest parenting moment ever, because it was not intentional. It wasn't like, I'm going to try this and see. It was like, I was like,
reactionary.
And just, and I remember it wasn't like hard, but I was thinking, can I do enough that snaps him out of it? Can I like, but it was enough that he hit me back. Oh, mama.
This is the most relatable. This is the most relatable story of all time. Just so we are clear. There is zero judgment happening here. Because I will tell you.
Total judgment. I have total. No, let me tell you. Here's the total judgment.
Okay.
What you did was so wrong. I can't even tell you, because you never hit him in the face. You hit him in the body. The problem is the face bruise. It's like the Falcon and the Snowman. You hit him with the phone book in the midriff, in that area, like a gut shot, like back, like lower, like a kidney shot or something. You don't hit him in the face, ding dong.
Sorry.
Body. A lot of times, and their arm up behind them, almost break their arm.
Write that down.
Jot that down.
I
still sometimes I'll talk with Hannah. I'll be like, hey. I'll warn her. I'm like, I'm really close. I'm not gonna make it. I'm about to snap. I'm really about to snap, and she'll keep going. And the other night, I took her, and I held her, and I pressed her to the bed and held her down. And I didn't. I mean, I've spanked her bottom before. I've
Yeah.
spanked her bottom. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
So my
I love when people are like, my kids we've never had a fight. Shut the blank up. I don't know any lunatic. What, are you drugging them? There's not one shot unless that kid.
And some parents are.
There's no way.
Yeah, sure.
I love married couples. Anytime I meet a married couple who's like, we've never fought, I go, that's a murder-suicide waiting to happen. There's no way you've never had a fight.
Well, that's because one of you's cheating on the other. That
Somebody's
person's happy somewhere
doing
else.
They're the ones that are sharing the joint Instagram.
It's the people that fight the most are the people that are the most determined to stay together. We're like, we're gonna make this work. Those are the people that are actually probably trying their hardest.
Well, it's usually the people
Do
who
you
are
guys-
like, go ahead.
Do you guys fight well with your spouse?
No.
The more I've been on my antidepressant, yeah.
Oh,
The more
I was making a joke, but
no.
okay, good.
I went on Zoloft when I was 5 months postpartum with my youngest, and it saved everybody's
Wonderful.
lives in this house, I think, if we're being honest.
Yep.
And I think that I think having the kids made me want to fight fairer. I will say I was a true and proper psycho in my 20s. True. And like I would fight. I would pull out every unfair thing you could. I mean, it was, I just did not want to lose. And I don't mind being wrong now. I'm like, I think accountability is so sexy. Oh God.
I mean,
So
our problem when we fight is that I'm always right, and it's really hard for her. And so
That must be so hard. That must be so
it's
hard,
difficult
yeah.
for me because honestly, being right all the time, it's not that easy, Orly. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And it's disturbing sometimes.
See, we're in a weird
I'll reach
place
out and see if she's okay.
Yeah.
No, don't say anything to her. Just the other night, oh my gosh, the other night she does this sometimes. Like she gets, every wife I think is just angry that their husband can sleep through the night. My husband, like Jess Campbell says, my husband and I live separate during the week due to job locations, and I fully believe that's why I haven't murdered him. Absolutely,
That's amazing.
not even close. Here's what's funny: I'm going away this weekend for Father's Day. I booked a gig. And she wasn't even like, really? You're leaving? She was like, yeah, have fun. And so I did it as a Father's Day gift to myself. I'm going to Dallas to TK's Comedy Club to do stand-up comedy for the weekend.
Woo, woo.
And she was like, have fun. And I was like, see you later. And you got the kids. And she's
Beautiful.
like, yeah. So
See, we're in a weird place because like I can't fight with Melissa because of the heart condition.
That's
Because like I'm
right.
afraid
Yes.
if I do fight with her, it'll be the time that the heart snaps because she's like she teeters on that space, and I'm like
she can't leave.
my
She
God.
can't drive away. She'd have to like
she
walk
can't.
away.
I mean,
It would be
look,
really-
her leaving me would be very difficult, and she would get a couple of blocks before we'd find her. But like it's at the same time.
Not a couple.
I would love
blocks,
to know
Jason.
the tone. What's the tone of your voice, Jason, when you want to let loose, but know that that's not medically safe?
Oh yeah.
How do you passive aggressively say the things that you want to say?
Great question.
So I do this thing where I talk like this, and I'm like, well, I noticed some things that are kind of. I feel like Chris Pratt when he's dealing with the raptors in Jurassic World.
Yeah,
He's
Blue.
putting
Come
a
on,
feel
Blue.
like,
Come on, Blue.
hey, we're just gonna take a calm look at some of the things that are. I don't know if you noticed, maybe pissed me off.
That's funny.
I
Oh
can
my
also hear
God.
that she also doesn't actually, I mean, maybe I just don't know her well enough, Jason, but like, is she capable of like having a yell? Because she always seems a little, not subdued, but she's like docile somehow.
Well,
sort
she's on a library of medications, but
Well,
also like
that's what I mean. Like, I feel like she also like, I feel like if you talk to her like that, I feel like she'd say to you, I can tell that you're talking to me like I'm a child.
no,
like,
well,
I
I
could
don't
see
talk to her like she's a child, but
Yeah.
but so she's capable of anger because our children will bring it out like that. I
Yeah.
mean, and
Yeah,
like honestly, if anybody kills her in the house, it'll be Jace.
Yeah.
Have Orly and Kate, have you done this? So the other night, and this has happened numerous times.
I
where
guarantee you neither of us have. Go ahead.
you totally, I guarantee you both have.
I
So
think
I was
you're barking up
awakened.
the wrong bitch tree. Go
I
ahead.
was awakened. Like she shook me in the middle of the night and woke me up to go like, did you hear that sound? And I was like, no, I was asleep. And she's like, oh, there was a big boom. And I go, well, it wasn't that big because I slept through it. And then she was so angry. She's like, I can't believe you could sleep through that. And
yeah, you know what she's saying to you? You're a pussy and not going to protect us when someone breaks into this house because you didn't even hear that.
That's okay, so maybe Orly's up that tree. I'm not up that tree.
She's
telling you
exactly.
I do that when I hear something, and because like, you know, Mike is like Mr. freaking protector man. I got this
law enforcement, right? Absolutely.
And so when I hear something and he doesn't, I gotta gloat for a minute. I gotta be like, oh, I'm the one who heard the noise and the thing, and you didn't even hear. And I could have been a guy coming to the house, and you're the guy, and I'm now the girl going. Like, it is a total. Like, did you hear that? No.
And you woke him up. Did you wake him up?
Yeah, but I don't wake him up to tell him I heard it and he didn't. I just assume he did. Like, I'm like, did you hear that? Like, I like, you know, like I grab him and jump up, and I'm like, and so it wakes him, and then he like alerts and does the like scan, you know, and I stay in bed.
I will tell
like,
you, I legitimately thought
that's my biggest gripe with marriage right there. That's exactly my gripe with marriage.
Can I tell you, you can gripe about it. You gripe about it too. Because I'm telling you, the other night I swear to God, I heard someone inside my house. And I was like,
Kate did the same.
I was like, I don't want to wake up Dickie.
You have an alarm on the house?
Yes. But
did the alarm go off? No. Did the alarm go off?
Jamie,
I don't know, but her son
Jamie,
James
if you
could have been
actually let me
committing a
talk,
crime.
you would hear details about the story that wouldn't even make that question necessary.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I sometimes, when it's cool out, will sleep with all the doors open, like the doors unlocked. Like, I'm just like, okay, the back door's
alarm.
open. So the alarm's not armed.
Have you heard of air conditioning?
Yeah, have you heard of I'm cheap as shit?
You sleep with
early for air conditioning. We still have to get through October in this climate.
In Los Angeles, California, you sleep with your doors open. That's what you just told us.
I sleep in Burbank, California. So.
It's
up the hill, honey. They got to get up this hill.
There's nobody walking up that hill.
The bottom line is, I heard someone. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I literally was like, I don't want to wake him because it's a tough thing. So I literally go and find out who's in my house. It was our ice maker. It was our ice maker.
Significantly
our ice maker is a gremlin as well. So.
We have an alarm. I go, and we had a big fight, and I was like, listen, don't.
You live in the shit though, Jamie. Like, you live in a very populated area. Yours is very accessible. Like, I understand that she's paranoid about people coming in because, like, there's serious break-ins in that area.
Wait a minute. Didn't Ed Asner wander
talking like I live in Compton? I'm in Studio City, you ding dong. What are you talking about?
Are you being legit right now?
Are you legit right now?
What is going on under your freeway overpasses there that you all live right by?
Oh yeah, we're the only area with homeless people.
What I'm saying is that it actually is like her fears are actually founded there. There are home break-ins in that area.
We have an alarm. No, we would know if somebody came in the house.
Yes.
So Orly, how are you?
Yes.
You good?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jason?
I'm hanging in there.
This is what happens when towards the end of the show it starts to devolve into a free-for-all. Well, listen, tomorrow's the last day. Oh, hey, actually, here's what I want to talk about. It's Father's Day this weekend. And we have a big bit on Sirius coming out for Father's Day, talking about the 3 keys to making Father's Day perfect for your husband. Because here's what happens, and this is why I kind of booked the gig, because typically on Father's Day, my wife picks a fight with me because she's like, you're really hard to buy for. She like gets angry because she's like, you're so hard to buy for. You take everything back. And I'm like, guys are actually really easy to buy for. And it's pretty simple. I think everybody knows what we want, and just it's very simple. Just it's Father's Day. I don't understand what the problem is. Why can't we just why can't certain things happen and make Father's Day perfect?
What are the 3 things?
All right, keep it simple. Keep it simple, right, Jason? We talk about the fact that sometimes moms plan this big. It's like, oh, we have Sunday brunch at this fancy restaurant.
No dad wants that.
No dad wants that. We don't even want like an elaborate hike through.
You actually don't want to spend time with other people.
No, not really.
You don't want to do like all of the families in the neighborhood are getting together for. No, we don't. Nobody's trying to be with other people.
We don't want an elaborate.
There have been rumblings of a Father's Day barbecue here this weekend, and I would honestly rather have painful dental surgery than go through it.
My wife will make plans. she'll like text me in the middle of the day. She's like, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what's happening? And she goes, oh, I'm making plans for next April. And I just wanted to, I go, well, guys don't want to make plans. We'll play it by ear. If I feel like going to the beach that day or whatever, I'm going to do it. But sometimes moms put this big elaborate plan and the guy's like, I just want to lay on the couch and watch golf, dude. It's the US Open. I don't want to go anywhere. Is that?
I asked for a cosplay 3-way. I'll settle for probably, and what I'll get is a 3-hour nap that they won't bother me through. That's pretty much.
Rule 2 is keep it cheap. That's our other thing. It's like sometimes there's elaborate things and you're like opening it and you're going, hey, I'm taking this back tomorrow. I didn't want it. I don't need it. I'm getting rid of it. And then rule number 3 is keep it sexy. And the whole time it's like, look, man, it's Father's Day. Just, we're not hard to buy for. We're so, I can't reiterate this point enough. It'll take a few minutes. It's happened before. We dated. Things happened. It's just a few minutes.
Subtext to number 3 is let me enter you.
One way or another. I'm not, you pick
some sort of
where.
You pick a hole.
See, Jamie, you're in such a different place than me because I basically live in an episode of To Catch a Predator. She's after me all the time. It's terrible.
I know. The stroke did not stop that, honey.
No.
Well, dude,
it's actually worse.
She can't drive, so she's doing that basically to keep you tired and home. She knows if she doesn't just keep draining your life force out of you, that you might one day get in the car and drive away.
I never made that connection until just now, and you are absolutely right.
That's the cynic in me. What do you guys, Orly and Kate, what do you guys do for Father's Day for the weekend?
I always ask, I say to Dickie, do you want to, like last year, I was like, do you want to just go surf? Like take your, I got the kids all day if you want. Like literally it's almost like a dad's day off. And I don't know if that makes us, not, I don't know, but I'm just like, bye, I've got them. But then I asked him, I was like, do you want to go surfing again? And he was like, no, I think I just kind of want to like, let's all go to church and then let's go to lunch. We're at a place I want. I'm like, great. So that's what we're doing. And I'm getting him a screen door.
So you going to Porto's?
No. There's a roast beef place he loves in Pasadena, so we'll go there.
Ever since Kate introduced me to Porto's, sometimes I dream about that more than I do sex.
It's really good.
Porto's is pretty good, dude. Porto's is pretty good. Yeah.
Orly, what about you?
I feel like you checked all the boxes. You've got church cheap, lunch simple, screen door sexy.
Listen,
sexy screen door. Nailed it. Nailed it.
He's gonna
so
get
sexy.
He'll get a blowy or a bounce.
Okay, while admiring. Great. Okay.
Whatever the man wants.
I got him a couple of little things I knew he needed. I got him like new sunglasses and new board shorts and stuff because we're at the beach all the time. So those were like little gifts that I got him. And then we're gonna do a barbecue at my parents' house, which is actually feel like I'm preparing for Jamie to roll his eyes, but don't, because
he's
really
actually doing such a great job of keeping statue
I know.
face.
I was like,
good job.
I was like, you see the smug ass smile on his face. Little Smug's bunny sat up there this whole time.
I feel like he tried to disappear into like the egg crates behind him. He was like,
he was just like,
no, my parents' house is like beautiful and relaxing, and whenever we go there, my mom just like cooks up a storm and everyone just like sits on the couch outside and relaxes and has a drink and sits and chills and turns on the like it's just so very relaxing where you really have to do nothing. So we all look forward to it a lot. So he's stoked. So we're gonna go there.
I would go there.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I would like to submit my audition.
Parents do a great job.
My audition called Jamie Kaler, listening to Orly's Father's Day plans. I'm going to be performing just a still from Jamie Kaler listening to Orly's Father's Day plan.
Why am I
Shall I re-perform?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna I got him a couple of gifts and we're probably gonna go to a barbecue at my parents' house. So it'll be, for fuck's sake. You're dying inside. You're dying a slow death inside.
Actually, I thought it's so funny.
I should go there.
I don't know what my face was saying, but I was like, I loved it. I thought it was that seemed like a really good Father's Day to me.
I want to go to there.
Honestly, at some point you look like when the Grinch stole Christmas, the smile that you made.
Yeah, you went.
What's it like to still have parents who have a nice house that's drivable distance from your house? What's that like? Does that feel good? It feels
local
nice.
family. What's that like?
That's your in-laws? Or your
My wife will
No,
sometimes
that's
be
my
like,
parents.
Oh, your parents.
That's
Yeah.
my parents. Yeah, Mike's parents are in New York, so that's my parents. But
And
it's
you-
you know, I mean, it's
you
so
married
chill.
a New Yorker?
I did. We met in New York. I moved to New York right after high
Oh,
school.
That's right. That's right.
I was selling Jello shots, you know, as one does to make money at McFadden's Saloon, and
Kate
he
did
had
that.
just started running that bar.
Different
Yep.
Kate.
Tray
My
of
wife,
Jell-O
my
shots
wife
and a
Kate was
can
a
of-
Bud Light girl or something. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, see, you make all of the monies. It's lovely, and that's how we met. We actually met by me sort of trying to steal from him, so it was great.
What exactly were you
I
stealing?
know.
from
Can
him?
we hear that story?
Well, so
discrepancy?
yeah, well, no. So the way that this thing worked, it was so very shady. It was a job I found on Craigslist, and I had to go down to an apartment in the East Village, pick up a suitcase full of Jello shots that were in Tupperwares with 2 cans of whipped cream in the little front zipper pouch. And they would tell me what bar I was going to, and I would go to that bar and I would sell the shots. It was $3 a shot. $2 went to the guys that made the shots, and $1 went to the house, and I only made tips. And they gave me like 150 shots, and about an hour later I called them and I was like, so I sold the shots, like what happens? Do they come back and like give more? Like, how do we do this? They were like, you sold all the shots? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you sold all the shots. And
You're like, yeah, I'm sexy to all genders. Hello.
Hey, thank you. I'm very focused on being attractive to everybody.
Everybody's
and I was
attracted
like,
to me.
yeah, okay. And I was like, I sold all the shots. So they were like, okay, well, we can bring more, or we'll just give you more next time. So I was like, fine. So they started giving me more and more and more shots. And at a certain point, Mike took over as the manager, and they had just always thought I only had 150. So the guys were like, that extra money for the extra shots, just don't give it to the house. Like, it used to be $150, $1 a shot. We'll give you 500 shots now. Just keep the 350 and like the tips and whatever. It's fine. And so of course, because he is by the book, Murph, the very first time we worked, he's like, hey, all right, let me count your shots. And I was like, we don't do that. And he's like, I gotta see how many shots you have. I'm like, I don't know how many shots. I don't make the shots. They make the shots. The guys in the apartment with the whipped cream, they make the shots, and then I just pick the shots and I bring them here, and I don't know. And he counts them, and he's like, there's 600 shots here. And I was like, news to me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He literally caught me stealing for like weeks on end. He's like, how long has this been going on? I was like, I don't comprende. Like, I don't know what to say. And that's how it began. He fully caught me stealing.
That's so funny.
Oh my God.
By the way, those
That's
600
courage
shots
to do
still
that.
only cost $12 to make. Like those.
yeah.
The fact
I
that
mean,
you could
honestly.
sell those shots tells me that you are really good at what you do, because I have been in that bar so many times. I'm like, who the blank is drinking these horrible shots?
Also,
What was
you know
your-
what
what
my
was your pick?
moneymaker was? This was my moneymaker, and it was not based off my talent. It was this guy who was just super mobbed up, who would sit at the end of the bar, who worked in sanitation, was like his story. And he would sit at the end of the bar, this huge dude, him and his buddy, they would sit there, and everyone knew like who they were and what they did. And he had a crush on me, and he would say, I'm going to buy, like, let's say I had like 30 shots on a tray. He'd be like, I'll buy your shots plus tip you, go give them out. And instead of selling, come sit with me for a half an hour. Just come hang with me. So he would buy the shots and tip me like $100 or whatever. And so I'd have the money for the shots, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go give them out. And then I would go resell them. So I would then make $3 a shot for me plus tip on those shots. So I was making like $1,500 a night in like 2003 when I went, and it was just like, and I would go, and then I'd go back and sit with them for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Nobody wanted them. Ooh, no one likes the cherry. And then like, I would like sit with him for 5 minutes, and then he'd be like, all right. And he would do it again. And it would just go like night after night. He would just buy like round trays of them.
That's hilarious.
And then I would resell them.
And they made you a capo in the Colombo family, I believe, right? Was it the Colombo
Yes,
or was it the
yes,
Gotti?
yes.
Was it the
I still
Gotti
give
family?
them. I still give them a cut of everything I make.
You got
to keep
You gotta
all-
kick it upstairs, Orly. You gotta kick it up. Hey,
Keep it clean.
Also, did I hear you call your husband Murph? Is your last name is your husband's last name Murphy?
She didn't take it.
Yeah, I didn't change my name, but
I also am married to a Murphy and did not take it.
wait, okay, what was your reason?
Because my last name is Mulligan. I don't need yours.
Oh, okay, okay. You're like, I'm fine.
Actually,
I've got it set.
hang on. They're both Murphys.
Yeah, they're both Murphys.
It's crazy. I just dawned on me. The whole time I was like, wait a minute, I knew them both. I was like, they're both Murphys.
Yeah.
I got married when I was 30. My last name was part of my identity. People call me Mully. People call me Mulligan. I was like, I'm not getting rid of it. If we have kids, my kids can have the last name. I don't give a shit. But I was like, and also, by the way, that's like something my husband loved about me. He's like, great, you don't take. And like his mom was like, good for you, don't take it. It's like,
yeah.
I would argue my wife only married me for my last name because her name was Kate Polanski and my last name's Kaler, and she got Kate Kaler out of it, which is a fantastic name.
Yeah.
Like, I think the name was the selling point because obviously there's nothing else about me that I think she's really on board with.
Jess Campbell.
Yeah.
I just want to know how to marry a man with the same last name as me. Not sketchy at all.
Sketchy at all.
Oh, funny trivia. This Jess Campbell is the person who introduced me to my wife.
Oh my God. I love that.
And
so I will never forgive her.
Was she married to a guy named Campbell? Wait a minute.
That's what she
so
said.
confused.
Yeah, she's married to somebody.
And it was weird.
Come on, Taylor, you've been to this town.
House. It was really weird.
There's an overlapping.
A couple years old. We're both from Alabama, and
yeah.
Well, Orly, why did you not take the last name Murphy?
You know, so my last name is Shani, which is a Hebrew name, and it felt literally like reassigning my identity in some way, being Orly. Like, I like that my name makes people go, what is that? And then I get to say my story. I get to say, oh, well, my dad's Israeli and my mom's, Russian German. She's from LA, and this is the mix. I like that. And growing up, Jewish, I'm not particularly religious, but we're very it's cultural. Like, it's who it's just like we used to go to Israel every other summer, and so Murphy is not like a generic name. It's like an Irish name, and it felt like it almost. Say
when you tried to marry a Murphy?
Well, my dad, you have to remember, my dad married a shiksa. She converted to Judaism, and his mom disowned him when he did it and came around. But he was the first of 10 generations to leave Israel. That part, it wasn't Israel always, of course, but first of 10 generations, and then married a non-Jew. I mean, Safta was like, get out of here. And, and so my dad was always like, of course, I want you guys to be raised Jewish. I want your kids to be Jewish. I would love that tradition, but it's your life. I'm not gonna, and so, it's been, and that's a hard one, even with school, right? Like, our kids go to a Catholic school, which is really hard, but I'm not religious. So it's not like
Israelis rarely are, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. It is more just cultural. Yeah. So anyway, that was it. It just felt like Orly Murphy was like I was a new person.
Yeah.
The name didn't feel generic. It felt like it carried with it its own culture that was not my own, and that felt weird. And so I didn't. And our kids are Murphy. So
yes. How do you? Okay, so this is the other thing. A lot of times, I don't know if you deal with this, but a lot of times, because I am a stay-at-home for the most part, mom. Everybody at the school knows me, so my kids will accidentally get mislabeled. They'll be like. My son even says, he's like, Mrs. Hanson, the kindergarten teacher, she said, why, hello, little Mulligan. He's like, but my last name's not Mulligan. I'm like, yes, they don't know.
Yeah.
Because they know me. Do you have that experience where your kids are getting, I don't mind if people are like, Mrs. Murphy, I don't care. I'm not going to be like, listen, I didn't take, I don't care. But
I'm the same. It doesn't offend me. I don't correct them. It doesn't offend me in any way. It's not at all. But no, I haven't had that actually, and I'm surprised because I am the one who's doing most of the communication, and which I think is maybe Jamie, not for you. Are you more
not even close
involved in
99%? I'm the guy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. As a matter of fact. Yeah.
So I feel like most of the time that sort of defaults to mom. But not always. And so, I'm the one who gets all
I wanted to get some yoga pants and go to assembly. I wanted to have like shocking pink yoga pants and go hang with the moms at assembly.
I feel personally attacked, Kayla.
Didn't even know it. Random shot in the dark.
Oh, Kate just raised up the most beautiful pink on cue yoga. I mean,
All right, listen, we have beaten Orly.
I know.
This is my wife's. I think I hear my wife smashing around at my kids. Tomorrow's the last day of school, and it's so funny. They have to be there at 8, and then they're done at 10. Done at 10 a.m.
What's the point?
My daughter's singing. She's singing in the choir tomorrow in Mass.
Ooh, fancy.
Orly, you rock, by the way.
I know.
Yeah,
this was so fun.
I know. You're in the mix.
Thank you for having me.
Orly, are you kidding? Tell everyone where they can come find you, because this will live on iTunes and people can come find your shenanigans.
He's asking specifically for your address.
Totally. I'm going to give it right now. So the YouTube channel, which is where I do all the DIY content and really try to give you guys, like I said, those tools so you can customize your own wardrobe. That's the DIY Designer. So you can find that on YouTube. Instagram is Orly Shani, and that kind of becomes a hub for everything. I have a beautiful brand called Rock Knot, which is all of these. It's a rhinestone cording that I macrame into these sick purse straps and purses and chokers. It's like sparkling and rugged and really, really cool, and started as an accident and totally exploded. So it's very exciting. So that's rocknot.com, ROCKNOT. That's the name of that business. And then if you guys are interested in style language, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can do mystylelanguage.com. There's resources there. It's a full course. It's like 2 hours of video content that you can binge. There's quizzes and Q&As and virtual meetups every month. We get in there and I work with everybody. It's really very cool. So if that was
I'm
anything
really intrigued about that, because Under Armour's actually asked me to stop wearing their clothes.
Stop it!
An unsponsorship.
He actually got a cease and desist letter. They were like, seriously, dude, take our clothes off. Like, there's a picture of him at the Under Armour store behind the register. It's like, do not sell to this.
Do not sell to this guy.
Yes. We refuse.
Dude, you've got to put that in your app.
Right to refuse service.
Orly,
I only own clothes that were given to me on a set. Like, I still have a suit from Will and Grace. That's like my church suit. It's my Will and Grace.
That was a nice little dropperoo.
Yeah, I dropped it right in there. But it's the only suit I own, so it's in there. And
I love it. I love it.
So Under Armour sent the palette of black leather hats.
They're still going on about that.
You rock. Hey, you have to come back. And next time I want to talk more about kids and stuff. But it was so interesting because, I mean, my wife loves your stuff. And so to have you on the show was really cool. And you are obviously way more professional than we are.
Yeah.
Shut it.
She's like, I got videos, websites. Here's my page. We're like, we don't know what's happening. We just pop up here every Tuesday night. So,
and can I just say to everyone over there in the comments on the right, thank you so much. It made it really, really fun to see all of you guys popping in and engaging. It makes it like even that much more fun. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's super fun to have people and all the questions and stuff were super great. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys you feel a little bit better about your own parenting skills after what we talked about tonight. And seriously,
also, Taylor, I need to really quick. Sorry, I do need to plug. You should plug your show in Dallas, by the way. But,
sure.
I need to plug. I'm actually in New York next Friday. So not this Friday, but Friday the 23rd, doing stand-up at the New York Comedy Club in the East Village. If you want to get tickets, you can either go directly to the website of the New York Comedy Club, or you can go to thechristianharloff.com.
Yeah. I'll be at TK's Comedy Club in Addison, Texas for Father's Day weekend. So come hang and I'm going to have a drink or two. I'm not going to lie to you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe. Tell other parents about it, because it is about parental mental health, because we're all in this together. So we really appreciate everybody tuning in, and all the people who shared the show too. Really very cool. Some people just share it to their own page, which is cool. Thank you guys. We'll catch you guys next week here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.
Lila Tov.